What is it about PetiteKnit and the Sophie Scarf that makes everyone want to knit it? This is my third video where I'm talking about a very popular pattern that somehow took over the community and tried to demystify why it's happening. Today I'm talking about more of a designer, but also a design, because a lot of people in the last video, when I mentioned who should I cover or what design should I do, a lot of people said PetiteKnit and other people said the Sophie Scarf. So to me, that's all kind of one big thing, and I wanted to talk about why, in my opinion, PetiteKnit is so popular and why this one, the Sophie Scarf, is actually her most popular pattern. So if you don't know PetiteKnit, she is a Danish knitwear designer. Her name is Mette, and she has been designing for... Well, the sun has decided to peek through. That's kind of crazy. We'll figure out how to work with this. It's going to go back behind the clouds in a minute. Anyway, PetiteKnit started publishing designs in 2016, I believe, and it was mostly kids' designs. So she was designing for her children, and she designed lots of very cute rompers and hats and designs that were definitely in a more beige aesthetic. I don't want to say this word as a pejorative thing. I know that like beige mom is now kind of maybe a negative thing that people say online. I don't want to say it as a negative thing because I'm clearly not the beige person, but the beige items or the brown, beige, gray, off-white aesthetic is not something that I despise. It's not something that I hate at all, but it is something to be noted that PetiteKnit is definitely part of this kind of grand family of aesthetics. Generally, Scandinavian designers in the last years, many years actually, have been more in that wave. So we've seen designs by PetiteKnit, My Favorite Things, Knitwear, those kind of designers come out with all these very aesthetically pleasing designs for the grander, the general audience, let's say. So she started with kids stuff mostly, and then from what I can tell, her first adult sweater pattern was the no frills sweater, which the no frills is exactly what it says it is. It is a raglan top down DK weight sweater. No frills, nothing special. She says it in the pattern, right? So it was something that appealed to a lot of people. Did she invent a classic raglan? She did not. Nobody says she is. I don't think she also has ever said that she invented new things by doing those very simple designs. But is it something that people want? Yes, absolutely it is. So when we look at PetiteKnit's designs that are the most popular, if we go onto Ravelry and we sort her designs by most projects first, the first one is the Sophie Scarf. Is it surprising? I don't think so. Then it's the Oslo hat, which is a very classic folded brim hat. And then the no frill sweater, the cumulus blouse, anchors summer shirt, Sophie shawl, Oslo hat with mohair, or the mohair edition she calls it, a hipster hat, which is a very stretchy ribbed hat, cumulus tee, Sunday sweater. I can go on and on. She has a lot of designs. And they are all very simple. Some of them have more intricate things to them. But I think that when we think about her general aesthetic, one of the words that would come is simple, easy to wear. And that, I think, to me is what makes her so popular. She's unfortunately seen quite a bit of hate online. At first, I think the things that people were bothered by the most was her lack of range in sizing for sweaters. And I think it might be very Scandinavian slash Danish to be creating those patterns is in those sizes. Maybe what you see in the stores there might not always go all the way up to the sizing that we expect right now in the knitting community. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just kind of pointing out that sometimes different cultures come with a different understanding of things. And she got a lot of backlash for her lack of bigger sizing. I think since then she's done a lot of work to extend her sizing range. And I think that no one should be cast aside or shunned or canceled forever because of one issue and the mistakes that she's made back in 2016 have been worked on since then. Apart from her lack of sizing, people love to hate her. Why? Because she's popular. Right? Every time someone is very popular, it also means that you get a lot of haters. And I think personally that it is unwarranted hate a lot of time because people, every time they hear PetiteKnit, automatically will say, oh, I won't make that because I don't like her or what she does. Or, oh, she's only creating very simple designs, and why would I ever want to make that? And there's a valid opinion in the whole, like, I don't want to follow the trends, or I don't want to buy a pattern that I feel I could make up myself. Totally respect that. You can absolutely be the person who makes up their own raglan top-down sweater on your own, or buy a pattern from someone that is less popular in order to, maybe buy from someone smaller. It's very fine. But it doesn't mean that what she's doing is not valid. So in my opinion, everything that PetiteKnit is coming up with has some value, clearly, because people buy it. And as long as people will buy it, it means there's a demand and people want it. This little scarf, the Sophie Scarf, I would have not ever bought this pattern if it wasn't for this channel right now. I bought it in order to see exactly how it was written, what were the options, how she was actually making it. It is a very simple garter stitch little shawlette. I made the big version. So she has a version that she says goes around the neck only once, and I'm guessing once you tie it, it probably hangs like right here when you tie it once around your neck. And then this is the bigger version that wraps around twice around your neck. I made the bigger version. I had this amazing skein of 100% cashmere, brushed cashmere. It's a DK weight, and I didn't know what to do with it because it was a 50-gram skein. So I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna make a little scarf to go around my neck to keep me warm, that it should be super luscious and super soft. So I pulled out this cashmere, and I used a little bit more than 25 grams, so I could make probably a small version with the yarn that I have left, or I could probably make a hat where the inside of the hat would be this gorgeous cashmere. So I wouldn't have bought this pattern due to the fact that I think I can recreate this on my own easily. I probably wouldn't have used the exact same increase ratio, and maybe not the same increases and decreases as she does, but I could make this by myself. It's a, I-cord edging garter stitch scarf. I do think that the pattern is a bit expensive for what it is. the pattern is in one page and does not have a lot of techniques, a lot of different things to consider. So in my opinion, this one is definitely one that could be priced lower. But there is a 21,000 projects on Ravelry right now under this scarf, which means that clearly some people do value this. There is a snowball effect when you become a very popular designer. And so some people will buy every pattern that a certain designer comes out with automatically. And so the more you create patterns, the more your patterns are popular, the more your patterns are going to be popular. Make sense? Makes sense. I'm looking at all the other things that are very popular on her page, and the Oslo hat is one. I've never knit an Oslo hat. I might be the only podcaster, YouTuber that hasn't knit an Oslo hat. In the French Québécois community, there was a moment where I was watching everybody's podcast and everybody was knitting an Oslo hat. And I didn't really need one in my life. And so I didn't. Again, could I make the Oslo hat without buying it and recreating? Yes, for sure. But if I wanted to make exactly that one, if that's the thing that was interesting to me, I would buy it. I would buy it because I don't have to make the calculations myself. I can just buy the pattern and have it done for me and just start knitting. Yeah. The no frills sweater that I talked about before, I've never made either. I was not very in love with the depth of the raglan increases, and I personally have a lot of raglan sweaters that I absolutely adore, and so I didn't feel like I needed another raglan sweater that is top down. Hers is in the area of like, I think it was when mohair became very popular to hold with a fingering weight yarn. So the no frill sweater came right at the right time for that craze. And a lot of people felt like they wanted to knit it, which is 100% fine. The sweaters that I've knit from PetiteKnit are a little bit more, have a little bit more to them. So I've knit this one, which you can't see all of it. It's kind of silly, but let me replace it. You're gonna see some of my mess. That's okay. So this here is the September sweater. The September sweater is a beautiful brioche knit. It's all brioche, and it has a very deep, like big sleeves, deep sleeve holes here. It has a construction that's interesting. It's not like it starts from the back and then you work your way forward, and with all the brioche stitches and brioche increases and decreases, that's absolutely something that is a statement sweater, in my opinion, that would have its place right. It would be right at home in like a department store in the winter, right? This brioche stitch. So that's also one thing that when I hear people say, I don't understand why PetiteKnit is so popular because her designs are so simple to me, the answer is in the question. Her designs are simple, which means that more people are going to be wanting to knit them because most people want simple. If you look in the stores, what you see in stores for knitwear, it's not the type of knits that we as knitters enjoy knitting the most. It's not the all over stranded color work or the crazy, and I'm saying crazy in a positive way, crazy modular construction in the Stephen West style. What people buy are very cozy, warm, comfy, simple knits. And that's what PetiteKnit is giving people, right? The other thing that I'm gonna bring you back down a little bit. Okay. Another thing that people say is like all our designs look the same. Yes. Yeah, you're right. They have a very similar feeling, and sometimes even for me, who's very used to seeing different, analyzing different knitwear, sometimes I have trouble understanding what the difference is between one V-neck cardigan, oversized thing to the next, because they are very similar. But when you look closer and you read the description, one might have an applied border for the button band and the other one is integrated, whereas one might be at 20 stitch per 4 inches gauge and the other one is at 12. One might have instructions for balloon sleeves and drop shoulder, while the other one is a contiguous shoulder and different sleeves. So there's really a lot of little things that people can change in their design that it becomes then a new pattern. There's certain things in a pattern that you can put in the same pattern and say, well, you could do this for the sleeves or this. Yes, but there's things that you cannot give as an option in a pattern without adding 3 more pages, which then becomes ridiculous. So for me, her having a lot of patterns that are similar is not an issue. It's just giving people more options. Could the Oslo hat and the Oslo hat mohair edition be the same pattern? Probably. But then again, it's not my business, so it's not my place to tell. So instead of hating on someone when something doesn't work for me, I'd rather move on and find something that works for me. I think at this point, PetiteKnit has been able to market herself really well. She has a very attractive vibe to her. She's a pretty woman that has a pretty family. She has beautiful pictures of all of her designs. I don't know if it's her husband that takes such beautiful pictures or someone else, but it makes you feel like you kind of want to be in that vibe, right? It brings you to something that you would like to participate in, and that is what marketing is. And so with a top-down raglan, she can market herself as, here, let's live the Danish cozy lifestyle together. Whereas if I were to design a top-down raglan style sweater, it would probably be more colorful. I don't have someone to take really pretty pictures of myself, and I'm not the best at marketing myself, so it would probably be put on Ravelry and then sell a few and be done with it. And that's okay, because I understand that is not where my business is. And there also is, like, knitting is a community. Knitting is people sharing a hobby. But for some people, knitting is business. And it is okay, in my opinion, to say, well, PetiteKnit has a very successful business. She enjoys what she's doing, which is amazing, and she has a team behind her helping her to do all these things and to market it to the right people and to send it out into the world. And so she can create this tiny little scarf that took her probably no time at all to write, and she can sell it at a price that's a little bit higher because she knows that people will buy it. And I don't think she should receive necessarily hate for that. That being said, this scarf took me 3 hours and 45 minutes to knit. Have I worn it since I've knit it? Not really. I think I'm going to be wearing it inside when it's really cold outside and I want to be cozy in my house. Because when I go outside, I want a big scarf. I want something that's going to cover everything, my whole neck. This is not it. And I don't have the French girl vibe. I don't wear collared shirts or little jackets. I think it would look amazing on some people as an accessory, but when I wore it the other day, my husband was like, "What's that?" Because he's not used to seeing me in this, because it's not my style. I wear tank tops and t-shirts and sweatshirts and all my knits, but this is not really my vibe. I feel comfortable having it on me, and I could see myself knitting some for friends who fit that style. I could absolutely see myself wearing it this way though. So, you know, my hair might not be the best for this right now, but I could see myself wanting to wear it as either a hair accessory, right? Like placed properly, obviously, not like that, or even a headband for the winter to make sure that I have warm ears. I think that's pretty cute. Hello, my dog. What are you doing here? Okay, he wants to say hi. Come on. Want to say hi to the people? Turn around. Turn your face. No. Here. Hi, people. Hi. That's Jefferson. You gonna go? Yeah, thank you. You can go now. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Go. Thank you. Yeah, I need the balloon cardigan, which was an oversized cardigan. I loved it. I actually gifted it because someone wanted it and I thought it would look amazing on her. The patterns themselves are well written. They do assume that you know a bit. Meaning, if you read the beginning of it, sometimes it's depending on the construction, it can be a little bit like right to the point, not much explanation. Which is fine for me. I've been knitting for long enough to just kind of go with it and figure it out on my own. She does have tutorials online, but obviously they are in Danish. You can kind of understand what's going on generally. I've also knit 2 Arrows sweater. So the striped ones, I've knit 2 of those before I found a pattern similar to that one that was more to my liking. So then again, like some people will buy these patterns for the hype and because they want to be part of the gang who have knit that sweater, and some others will buy it because they actually like really love the fit. I bought it, I made it twice, loving the fit, but then I found something that I love the fit of even better. She is not the only person that makes amazing garments. Obviously, go find what feels good to you. But if you want to buy a pattern that you'll be satisfied with, I think you still know that PetiteKnit is a good go-to. I don't really think that you'd be disappointed with a PetiteKnit sweater pattern or even accessories pattern. In my opinion, her things are very well thought out, well designed, well written, and I know exactly what I'm getting when I buy a PetiteKnit pattern. Let me know in the comments if you've knitted any of her designs. Do you like them? Do you have comments? Are you loving her aesthetic? Are you not at all in that world? Because I think there's like the people that love PetiteKnit, and then there's the people that love, you know, Stephen West, and they might not be the same people. And sometimes it might be. I do both. I will be happy to discuss all of this in the comments. And in the meantime, if you have other things that I should cover, obviously give me suggestions. I can't say that in English. Give me suggestions. Suggestions? Suggestion. In the comments down below, I'll be happy to keep making these videos. And if you enjoyed this one, maybe you will enjoy watching one of those. Happy knitting!